How's it going, everybody? My cup of tea here, back in another reaction video, and we're here with some more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Yay, yay. Now, I was about to watch a Yu-Gi-Oh battle, but I had a thought, an epiphany if you will, that hey, I don't exactly know how links work, like link summoning, the extra monster link zone, all that link stuff. I don't know how that works. And I know you guys have been telling me in the comments like what exactly it is, but I'm still confused on it, so I decided, you know what, let's just watch a quick short video explaining the concept of it. So that's what we're watching today. Today we're going to be watching Yu-Gi-Oh! The Idiot's Guide to Link Summoning, Link Monsters, New Field, Extra Monster Zone by TGS Anime. Now I feel like this video will be great for us because I am an idiot, so this will work perfectly, I feel. Let's start this. Now this is going to be a standalone video because after this we're going to watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle that I had planned to watch. But I know that one's going to take a while. Oh, wait, hold on, I'm sorry. I know that's going to take a while, so we're going to make this a standalone video. And then we're going to come back and watch the actual battle. Alrighty, let me just unmute this. There we go. Rewind it back. Alright, teach me the links.
Welcome back to another Idiot's Guide to Summoning. Congratulations on learning all about normal, special, ritual, fusion, synchro, exceeds, and pendulum summoning. I bet you...
Okay, didn't know any of that. Okay, maybe normal and special.
Special, ritual, fusion, synchro, exceeds, and pendulum summoning. I bet you've been enjoying getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Now that you're all caught up with all those new and crazy summoning techniques.
I am not caught up.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Thank you.
I got some bad news for you.
Oh?
Have you ever heard of link summoning?
I have, actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you see, due to the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrain series coming out, they've decided to not only add a new type of summoning, but change up the field pretty drastically.
Yeah,
it's
I saw
not
that.
all bad, though, as it means I get to invite you to another An Idiot's Guide to Link Summoning.
Hooray! Alright, new field, what is this?
First up, before we get to Link Summoning, what the heck has happened to the field?
Yes.
An easy way to describe this is, remember World of Warcraft when that dragon came and like fucked up the landscape and changed it all? It's kind of like that, but the Yu-Gi-Oh version. This is what the field used to look like.
Yeah, I know that, yes.
This is what it looks like with the introduction of the new rules. You'll have to give it one thing. It does...
Wait, let me just make sure I know. So before, when they added... So I knew about the Monster Zone, the Trap card, Graveyard. I knew that. This, Pendulum, I don't know anything about that. Extra deck, I don't know what that is. I know about the field card, and I know main deck here. But the normal and trap are still kind of the same, but then you got the left and right on the bottom. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Rules. You'll have to give it one thing. It does look tidier. So let's work our way up, shall we? You'll notice that the spell and trap card zones are still at 5. However, the left and rightmost spaces are now pendulum zones as well. What they have done is remove the separate pendulum zones and merge them with the end spell and trap card zones.
Yes,
all this really means is if you play pendulum monsters in your deck, if you place pendulum scales, those cards will take up 2 of your spell and trap card zones.
Okay, I don't know what pendulum is, but
only
okay.
3 spaces for your other spell and trap cards. Of course,
limited spell and trap cards.
You can use them for spell and traps again.
Right. Okay.
Next, the monster card zones are now renamed the normal monster zones. This is because you can no longer summon extra deck monsters into the monster zones. Instead, you have to use the brand new extra monster zone. Yes, this means what you think it does. You can now only summon 1 extra deck monster at a time. Also, I know there are 2 spaces, but you can only actually use one of them.
This one for your opponent?
I summon an Exceeds monster on the left, then the right one becomes my opponent's, and I'm able to use it. Now, if this was all the changes that Konami had made to the game, then you would be right in thinking you can only use 1 extra deck monster at a time. But that's not the case, due to the introduction of Link Summoning.
Okay, Link Summoning, that's what we need to know.
First up, what is a Link Monster? A Link Monster is an extra deck monster card. Its color is a dark... What is a Link Monster? A Link Monster is an extra deck monster card.
Link Monster, extra deck monster card. Okay, so it would go in that top... that extra monster zone.
Its color is a dark blue with a hexagonal pattern similar to a honeycomb on it. You will notice that Link monsters have no levels and no defense points.
I didn't know that.
This is because Link monsters cannot be under any circumstances in defense mode. They just won't budge. As well, this means because they do not have levels, Link monsters cannot be used for ritual, synchro, or exceeds summons.
So their own separate thing.
Instead of defense points, you will notice at number. This is called a link number.
I do hear links in the anime.
You need to look at in order to summon the monster.
Okay. Okay, this is important. How do they be link summoning? It's just
simply enough, a link monster's link number determines how many effect monsters need to be tributed in order to summon the link monster from the extra deck. Let's say I have this monster, Decode Talker, which has a link number of 3. To summon a link 3 monster, you need to tribute 3 effect monsters.
3 effect monsters. Is that the 3 effect monsters right there?
Simple enough, right? You just have to tribute effect monsters equal to the link number. Again, let's say it was a link 2, you tribute 2 monsters. Easy peasy.
That makes sense, yeah.
Also another way to summon them. Going back to Decode Talker, you can also use another link monster as a tribute. Let's say this guy, Honeybot, who has a link of 2. That monster now counts as 2 monsters since it has a link number of 2.
Let me just make sure. Also, I was going to say the Decode Talker, I know, I've seen him before in the anime.
Going back to Decode Talker, you can also use another link monster as a tribute. Let's say this guy, Honeybot, who has a link of 2. That monster now counts as 2 monsters since it has a link number of 2.
I see there too.
So
I see it.
You contribute Honeybot and 1 more effect monster.
That counts as 3?
This now totals 3, and voila, a link summon of a link 3 monster.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What do they do? Yeah, what do they do?
So, what makes the link monsters so special then? Well, now that you have your link monster on the field, this is where the link markers come into play. If you look at the card, you will see some arrows around the monster's frame. The arrows that are lit up red will point to different monster zones.
Oh no, I need to go back. I need to make sure I process this one.
The arrows that are lit up red will point to different monster zones. These zones are now linked to the monster.
I remember hearing that in the anime.
Does 2 things. First up, the linked monster's effect works with the linked monsters in the linked zones. For example, Honeypot's effect. Neither player can target monsters in this card's linked zones with card effects. Also, those monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So, the monsters on the left and right of this card now receive this monster's effect.
Oh, because I see the linked arrows right here. They're linked because it's pointing to this side and this side. But these 2 are targeted by the effect. Okay.
Monsters on the left and right of this card now receive this monster's effects. Pretty cool, right? The
so they can't be
second
targeted.
thing linked monsters can do is the linked zones can now be used to summon more extra deck monsters. That's right. Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and even more linked monsters can be special summoned from the extra deck to a main monster zone that is currently a linked zone.
Okay, let me go back again. I think I understand it. Let me hear it again. Because before he said, if you want to summon like the Synchro, the Rituals, the other special summon monsters, you got to use the extra monster zone thing that's up top. But if you have a link summon, you can. Let me make sure I understand this.
To summon more extra deck monsters. Now, be cool, right? The second thing linked monsters can do is the linked zones can now be used to summon more extra deck monsters.
Extra deck monsters, I meant to say.
Right. Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and even more linked monsters can be special summoned from the extra deck to a main monster zone that is currently a linked zone. If you want to visualize a linked monster, then do it like this. Imagine it's electrically charged. Once they hit the field, they can send a current to wherever they point to. This powers up the zone and makes it possible to summon more powerful monsters to them. As well, with another linked monster, you can keep the current going and extend
that makes sense.
You can summon powerful monsters too.
This makes sense now. This makes sense.
That is basically all you need to know about link summoning. Of course, there's going to be more questions about this new summoning style, but the best way to learn is
to laughing?
And try and
what's going on? You okay?
Get your hands on the new cards. Worst case, just go and watch the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrain series to learn all about.
We're about to watch the battle from that right now.
Wow! Thanks a lot for teaching me.
Yeah, thank you. That actually helped.
And the new game mechanic.
The new ones.
Before he ends that, I just want to make sure. He did say that the arrows can work on your field and the opponent's field. So since this arrow is pointing up right here, you can't. Well, I'm gonna use my finger right here. That means I guess wherever this card is facing that. On the opponent's side, it's normal monster zone. The opponent can summon a link monster or a special or extra deck monster on his side, depending on where this thing is pointing at. Okay. So Link monsters are kind of double sword, you know, double-edged sword, if you will. Because if you have more arrows pointing towards the opponent's side, that means they can summon more extra deck monsters, which isn't good for you. But okay, I understand. Okay. So does this effect also carry over to the opponent's side too? Like, let's say if it had like this card cannot be targeted by spells or trap, and it would affect these two zones right here, or these two monsters, but would it also affect the opponent's monster up top, so it would also can't be targeted? Because if so, that's crazy. All right, okay, that was good education. Good education. This is good. This is good. So I was looking through the comments of the video that we just watched, and it looks like TGS Anime posted something, like an update. So I'm kind of curious what this update is, because it might change what I just watched. So let's watch this 2020 revision thing.
My, has it really been?
Let's see. I don't know if it's gonna be a video or not.
Here? How time flies. Well, welcome back. If memory serves correct, then I do believe the last time you were here, we were learning all about one of the biggest changes to have occurred in Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in 2017,
I wasn't.
which was the implementation of Master Rule 4.
I don't even know about the other rules.
We had a brand new field.
I don't know about the other rules.
Zones. Some of those zones got merged into other zones.
Oh yeah, we know about this. Okay.
Those zones got different names. Also, we got a brand new type of extra deck.
Yeah, we know
monster.
about this. Yes.
Ah, good times. Good times. So, how do I tell you this? Most of that stuff that you learned, well, you need to unlearn it.
What?
The new Master Rule.
That video was a waste of time. I'm just kidding. Okay. Alright, let's just unlearn what I just learned.
Learned? Well, you need to unlearn it. The new Master Rule, or should I say Master Rule revision, is gonna go back on some of those changes. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it does mean that I get to invite you back again to the Idiot's Guide to Master Rules Revision 2020.
Now, this might not apply to re-rains because it might be before this Master Rule looks like 5, so we'll see. I'm still gonna watch it because I'm curious what the changes are.
20, which I guess some people do refer to as Master Rule 5, but that's not actually accurate because this is more of a patch, so it's technically more of a Master Rule 4.5. So the next Master Rule will probably be Master Rule 5, so this is Master Rule 4.5, so yeah. Regardless,
Master Rule 420, I'm cool. That's for me. Yeah, what happened, I guess? Yeah, what happened?
So,
We're here now.
In a recent video published by Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, it was revealed that as of April 1st, 2020, there was going to be a huge shake-up to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game again. Why they picked April 1st to do
did you?
God only knows. Imagine if it all actually turned out to be one giant April Fool's Day prank. I mean, I'd laugh, but God, imagine the outrage. I'll give it to them though.
This better be real.
Strategy. Announce the change for April 1st. If everyone loves it, cool. There you go. But if everyone hates the idea of it, then
you take it back.
Worries. It was just a prank, bro. Happy April Fools.
No.
Anyway, what Konami has done is basically incorporate the equivalent of the Uno reverse card into Yu-Gi-Oh! By that I mean previously in Master Rule 4, all extra deck monsters could only be summoned to the extra monster zone.
We learned that. Yeah, we
You
learned that.
could only have one fusion, one synchro, one Xyz, and one pendulum monster summoned from the extra deck on the field at a time. This was because there was now only one zone available for extra deck monsters. Known, of course, as the extra monster zone. This is, of course,
until you have this
on a link monster, which had the power through its link markers to extend those extra monster zones. Meaning you could increase the amount of extra deck monsters
so it does work
like that. The reason behind this change at the time was in order to slow the card game down, since duelists had started being able to summon absurd amounts of extra deck monsters in rapid succession. But with
we've seen that.
Monsters
we've seen that in the anime.
Speed bumps, if you will, this would mean duelists had started being able to summon absurd amounts of extra deck monsters in rapid succession. But with link monsters acting as speed bumps, if you will, this would mean you would need to dump more resources into those, making it so that you would get less powerful monsters on the field as fast. However, in reality, what actually happened was link monsters became just as spammable, and despite the fact that they were meant to serve as mainly field extenders, as more link monsters came out, they began having effects that started to rival those of other extra deck cards, thus becoming powerhouses in their own right. But that wasn't all. The mandatory requirement of buying Link monsters just so that you could play extra deck cards in your deck meant that essentially a paywall had been established. As a side effect as well, many decks had become so heavily affected by the extra deck
like a money thing.
They were almost unplayable
if you don't have
in a
Link
competitive
monsters.
sense.
That's
However,
crazy.
now let's fast forward to 2020, where Konami has activated their Uno reverse card to take back one of the biggest changes that was implemented in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game.
Okay. Can I take that back? Can I take that? Can I get my money back
the
too?
The Master Rules revision, starting April 1st, 2020, you can summon Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters back into the main
they
monster
put that back
zones
on there.
once again, meaning that there is now no limit to how many Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters you can summon to the field.
So
in fact, the extra monster zone is also still available to summon to as well. Meaning, technically, you
like
pretty much now have 6 summonable zones
you have 6
on the field. However, there is a catch to all this.
Oh?
This rule does not apply to Link and Pendulum monsters, as they still have to follow the old ruling, meaning your Link monsters must continue to be summoned in the extra monster zone or Link zones, with the same applying, of course, to Pendulum monsters. So what does this mean for the game? Well, if your deck was harmed by the old ruling, well, now it can make a comeback. It also means that decks are no longer paywalled by Link monsters, meaning if Link monsters were never really your thing, you just wasn't a fan of them, you need not ever put one again.
Okay, that's a good change. That's a good change.
Ever. But I mean,
you have to keep putting Link monsters in your deck.
A Borrowed Sword never really hurt anyone in their deck, did it? However, despite all these positives, it also means that decks that focus on extra deck summoning are going to be supercharged. Honestly, they're going to be as fast and as deadly as they have ever been before. Hopefully, with upcoming ban lists, any overpowered cards that are going to be played in this format, hopefully they get semi-limited, limited, or forbidden sooner rather than later. We want to keep a balanced ground here. And one minor little thing that's just only a little bit of a negative, but the extra monster zone is called the extra monster zone, and the main monster zone is called the main monster zone. But now you can summon extra deck monsters into the main monster zone. I feel like they need to revise the names of these to something else as well. If you're somebody that is upset by the fact that Pendulum monsters sort of got screwed over in this the most, there is always a chance that in the future, if they're underused, they could also see a Master Rule 5.5 revision or something like that, or perhaps another revision in the future. Hopefully you're going to have a lot of fun playing with these updated rules, and if your deck was hindered by these rules, then have fun picking it up again. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but other than that, goodbye everyone. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for the update. Thank you. I'm glad I checked this out. Now, I hope there's not like another update I need to check out, because the original plan was to watch about the Link summoning, you know. That was the original plan. I learned a lot there. But then fast forward to 2020, it looks like all that's out the window. They said, nah, it's okay. Don't worry about that anymore. But interesting. Very interesting. I think this is a good enough amount of information I needed so I can watch this battle now. I won't be as confused as before. Now, I don't know about Synchro Summons or XYZ Summons or XY Summons, so that might be a different video. But yeah, this is good. This is a good video, Alright, well, let's wrap this up real quick, because I want to watch this battle now so I can use the knowledge I learned and hopefully I can understand it. So yeah, thank you for watching. MyCupOfTea is out of here. See you later. And I can't believe they changed the rules. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand it. Oh wait, no, never mind, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't apply anymore.